All right, so we are going to start here. This is what I made. Video 1 is going to be about making a scatter plot. Okay, so I want to make a scatter plot. There's a few things that I have to do in order to do that. I need to identify independent and dependent variables. Independent means like nothing can affect it. Usually it's the x value, not usually, always. So something like maybe time. Time is a very x type of variable. What else could it be? Like a number for something, like maybe I use one eraser, and then two, and then three. I don't know. Usually that's X. Y is something that is affected by X. So Y could be like money. Money is a very common thing. Like the more time it is, the more money it is. Things like that. So you have to go ahead and decide what is X, what is Y, and then you're going to plot whatever's given to you. So we're going to do that in just a minute. So going to give you a little bit of time. I'm talking about after you plot, what happens after you plot. So this is actually the first representation. After you plot, it could look like this. What is this? This is a positive linear correlation. How do I know it's positive? Because it's a positive slope. Like if I were to draw a line right here, if I were to draw a line here, that would show me a positive slope. If I were to draw a line right here, that would show me a positive slope. If I were to draw a line through these dots, that would show me a positive slope. So all these are positive. If you notice, the closer they get together, the more strong they are. Okay, that's called strong. Now, after a positive linear correlation, we can have a negative linear correlation. What is that? That's a negative slope. So dots that if I were to draw a line straight through them, it would be a negative slope. So that's a negative correlation, okay? The bigger x gets, the smaller y gets. Here's another negative correlation. Again, since these are a little bit closer, they call this a strong one. This would not be so strong. Okay, this would be very strong. And this is the strongest it can get, where it's almost its own line, okay? Other than positive and negative, there's one more type of correlation you can have. You can have a no correlation. So you notice here I put you 3 graphs. This is positive because these lines, if I were to put a line in between it, it would be going positive. These are negative because if I put a line through these, they're going negative. This here is no correlation. I can't really set a line through any of these and like feel confident about it. Therefore, that is a negative correlation. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's try one of our own. Let's make a scatter plot. So we've got hours worked and tips. So like I said, money is usually Y. So if money is Y, ours is going to be X. So what we are going to do is we are going to create this. We're going to create our X and Y. So here's our X line. Here is Y. That's terrible Y. We can redo it there. There's Y. And so we're going to say X is ours because that's what we made it. And we're going to say that Y is money. Usually is. Okay. And I think, going back to my problem really quickly, yeah, hours goes up to 9. So we're going to say this here is 10. We can say that right in between it is 5. Okay. And I think Y goes all the way up to, it looks pretty high, like 165. So let's say this up here is, let's say it's 200. So let's say this is going to be 100. In between those, that would be 150. In between these, this would be 50, and so on and so on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plot our points. Let's go back to our thing, 2:36. So I'm going to come over here to 2 hours, which would maybe be here. 36 would maybe be like a dot right there. So we're going to say that's a dot. 362. So 3 would be 362. Maybe that would hit right there. 6, 120. So 6 is going to be over 5. Up here to 120 would maybe look right there. Then we've got 8, 148. 8's going to be up here, maybe 148. It's going to be super close to 150. So maybe that right there. And last one, 9, 165. So 9, 165 will be up here. Now, what kind of association is this? Well, this is a positive association. I could draw a line through here like so, maybe like this. And there's my positive linear association. So that is going to be positive. Let's go ahead and go to our next example. Let's watch this one. So this one is going to be foot size and height. If you notice, now this is weird because they're both in inches. Okay. So technically, would be weird. What is X? What is Y? We're going to say X is foot size. Smaller number, usually X is on the top here, Y is usually on the bottom. So we're going to say foot size and height. We're going to come back to our little thing over here. We're going to go ahead and erase this. I'm going to just erase the numbers. And we're going to get to that. All right, so now we have X, Y. We're going to say foot size is going to come down here. We're going to say your height is here. All right, so let's find our lowest and highest foot size. Highest foot size is 13, so we're going to say this right here is 13. We'll say this might be like 6, okay? If we come back over to this height, our highest height looks like 77. So I'm going to say, let's say this is like 75, okay? We'll say this is 50 here, which is a little skewed, but we'll say that's 50 and that's 75. So we have 6 through 13. So this is going to be a little bit closer together, but let's go ahead and try it. 10, 70. So let's say 10 is up here, 70 is maybe here. Okay. We've got 13, 77. So 13 is right up here at the top, a little bit above 75. 866. So 866 is going to be maybe there. We've got 661. So just a little bit below what 66 was at. And 1172. 1172. Was that one 11 before? And that was 10. So we're 1172 here. Again, I'd kind of say this is probably a positive correlation. I could put a line through that. So this is another positive one. So both examples we had were positive. And that's about it.